ever since Hurricane Irma plowed into the Caribbean region. L'Express des Iles has had to halt all ferry operations from St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, and Guadeloupe. Hans Victor, Operations Supervisor in the Shipping and Tours Department at HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, explained that after assessing conditions, today's plans had to be foregone.
Yes, so trips were suspended for Tuesday, September 5th and Wednesday, September 6th. We had plans of recommencing our schedule today. However, after assessment of the sea conditions at the Roseau Ferry Terminal yesterday, we found that it was impossible to dock. So therefore we had to also suspend today's scheduled boat to Guadeloupe. Even this morning, after observing the sea this morning, there was still some swells that proved that the boat could not have come in there this morning. Persons may look at the sea and say it's calm, but there are swells, and once there are swells, then it's difficult for the boat to dock. As you know, it's safety first, and it can be very dangerous when the boat comes alongside and there are swells, the boat is rocking, the gangway is going up and down, so it could cause injuries and cause fatalities. So we had to cancel the ferry.
The company is hoping that some services will be restored on Friday, said Victor.
Whether we can bring in our vessels, L'Express des Iles vessels in tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we are scheduled to have an assessment of the conditions with the Roseau pilots, and then at that time we will make a decision as to whether the vessels will be able to come in or not. So therefore we want to inform all our passengers scheduled to travel tomorrow, September 8th, from Dominica to Martinique or St. Lucia, and from Dominica to Guadeloupe, that an assessment will be made tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m., because right now, as it stands, vessels cannot come in under these conditions. So let us pray and hope that tomorrow morning the seas will subside a bit, and then we can make a decision to bring in the vessels.
According to Victor, generally, passengers have been very cooperative.
That's a normal thing, no matter what, persons will be agitated, especially those who had plans of leaving at a certain time, and maybe you never know, money's run out or whatever, and they're anxious to get home. So yes, you still expect that, but overall, this time around, I think it wasn't that bad because we didn't have so many people to evacuate or so. So the persons that we dealt with, out of those, maybe just one or two that were not pleased, but the general feedback is that it was.
No damage was reported to any of the ferries.
No. Thankfully, the ferries were safely sheltered, 2 of them in Martinique and 1 in St. Lucia. The one that was in St. Lucia is the one who left St. Lucia today. Or what persons may see the vessel going across today, or vessels, that is, they're leaving their shelters and going back to Guadeloupe. We have the vessel leaving St. Lucia today. It left St. Lucia at 7 o'clock on a regular call, and accepting passengers from St. Lucia to Martinique to Guadeloupe. That's possible because the ports in those countries are sheltered by a bay. Excuse me. Unfortunately for us, our ports are open to the waters, so any swell, any little thing, our ports will be affected. So persons may see the vessel going across and say, "Oh, well, look, the boat passing." But the case is that in our waters we cannot dock the vessel, because if we dock the vessel, it will damage the vessel, lives are at stake.
Asked that everyone stay tuned to the news outlets and social media for updates. Persons concerned are also asked to visit the office of HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited, the shipping department, to have their tickets modified for the next available service.